Hey, Matt here, and welcome to ThoughtSpark. When we open our eyes, we see light, but only so much of it. We only see a small part of the electromagnetic spectrum. But what if we evolved in such a way where we could see different parts of it, or maybe even all of it? What would it look like to us here in our day-to-day lives on Earth, up in space when we look up in the night sky? What would we see? I'm going to go through the electromagnetic spectrum one by one and explain a little bit about what we would see. Enjoy. Let's start off with gamma rays. Gamma rays have the highest amount of energy and the shortest wavelength. But here on Earth, we can't see a whole lot of them. We would, however, be able to see radioactive material. We would be able to see the glow off anything radioactive and know not to touch it and to stay away from it. But to see gamma rays coming from outer space, we would need to go to the moon or somewhere outside Earth's atmosphere where it would be unfiltered. Out here, you would be able to see solar flares that emitted gamma radiation, far distant supernovae, black holes, but only if you were lucky to see such an event. Okay, moving on down the spectrum after gamma rays, we have X-rays. Now, it would be pretty cool if you had X-ray vision, right? You could see through clothes, but you wouldn't see a whole lot of detail seeing through clothes. You would, in fact, just see bones. Now, this would come in handy if you had a broken bone and you went to the doctor's office. They could easily assess you and make you a cast pretty easily. Though, the one downside, a lot of things would be very bright. Getting to sleep would be quite a problem. It would be basically like going to sleep with your eyes open because you would be able to see through your eyelids. Now, looking up in the night sky would sort of be the same scenario as gamma rays. You could see some binary stars, supernova remnants, and black holes. But again, you would have to be outside of Earth's atmosphere to really get a good view of these stellar objects. Okay, now moving along to UV, or ultraviolet light. If you could see this wavelength, you would be able to look outside and tell if you really needed to wear sunscreen that day. Also, the faint glow of the Milky Way would sort of come through our atmosphere during the daytime, so we'd be able to see the Milky Way and all the stars during the daytime, and at nighttime, it would be a brilliant light show. Now, there's this really cool video on YouTube. It's called How the Sun Sees You. Now basically these people put sunscreen on their face, which blocks UV light so it can't be absorbed into the skin, and the UV camera can't pick up that light, so your face looks black on camera. It's pretty neat. Okay, now we skip over the visible spectrum because, well, that's boring. That's just what we see. So, moving on over to the other side of the spectrum where the wavelengths start to get a little bit longer and a little bit slower. We have infrared. Now, in my opinion, this is the coolest because who wouldn't want to see an infrared, right? Now, it would be sort of like how snakes see. Now, snakes, like the viper and the python, have heat-sensing pits called the Jacobson's organ. So these snakes can see a mouse or whatever hiding in the bush just by the mouse's heat. So, you wouldn't be able to really sneak up on anybody if you wanted to plan some sort of attack. You'd be able to see somebody sneaking in the bush or animal. The sun would be unbearable to look at, as well as the hot pavement on a hot summer day in the summertime would be quite bad to look at. You wouldn't want to look at it directly. The only downside to this is we wouldn't be able to see fine details. We would see a hot face, very, very bright around here, and the nose would be kind of dark. Our extremities, like our fingers, would be very dark as well. You wouldn't be able to see fine details. So if you're going on a date, you may want to switch over to the visible spectrum for that. Moving on to microwaves. Now, this part of the light spectrum, obviously I have a microwave right here. You would be able to see quite a bit of glowing light coming from these things. I mean, they're everywhere and they can go through drywall. So you would be able to see these things light up pretty much everywhere. Everywhere in residential areas, anywhere there's a microwave. Also, when we look up in the night sky, we would be able to see an even amount of light coming from all directions in the night sky. And that would be because of the cosmic microwave background radiation. Also, every star that emits microwaves, you'd be able to see just slightly brighter than the CMB. Another thing too is your Wi-Fi. Now it's pretty cool. With Wi-Fi that operates on the 2.45 gigahertz range, you would be able to see exactly where you could get the best reception in Wi-Fi hotspots. Okay, lastly we have radio waves. These have the longest wavelength and the lowest energy. This would be pretty huge. In the night sky, we would see anything with a magnetic field. This includes our Earth, Jupiter, our Sun, Saturn, black holes, all the other stars in the sky we would see very vividly. Anything without a magnetic field, like Mars, gone. Now, in terms of what we would see here on Earth, I have a few things here with me. You would see Wi-Fi signals, because Wi-Fi operates both on microwave and radio waves, so we would see signals coming to and from our tablets, our Wi-Fi printers, and of course, our routers. Also, in our cars and in our homes or offices, we have our AM, FM alarm clocks or radios. We would see that pretty brightly. Also, our cell phones. Now, this is my very first cell phone from 2006. What's really neat about radio waves is that we would be able to see a phone call or text message whizzing to our phone before our phone even registers or rings. Now, in the case of seeing the full light spectrum all at once, suddenly right now, it would be a bad story. It would instantly be like a blown out, overexposed photograph. You would see everything simultaneously all at once, and it would be such a shock to your system. At the very best, you would instantly go blind. But very likely, you would go into shock and die pretty fast. I'd like to thank Kevork Manoukian for your suggestion on this video topic. If you have a topic that you'd like to suggest, leave them in the comments down below. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and a subscribe if you haven't already. Also, share this content with somebody who might enjoy it. Thanks again for watching, and if you haven't seen my other videos that I've done, there'll be a link to those right over here, and there'll be a subscribe button somewhere here, or up here, or in the middle, wherever I decide to put it. Thank you for watching.